Hello viewers, during this video session, I'm going to be showing us how to install virtual FMC and virtual FTD on VMware. So let's start the installation. This is my FTD and FMC. I'm going to be installing version 6.2.383. So let me start with the FTD. So like I said, I'm installing it on VMware this time around. So I'm going to double click on this. I'm going to accept. Next. I'm going to name it. Let me name it FTD 6.2.3-83. I'm going to click on next. I'm going to leave all this. I'm not going to input anything. I'm going to say import. And there it is, importing. Okay, that's it. No, do you want to connect this virtual device every time you power? No. I don't need that. So it's going to start up. So it's going to start installing. 2, 1. That's it. So while it's doing that, let me go ahead with the FMC. FMC. So I'm going to run this. I'm going to accept. I'm going to do next. Let me name it FMC 6.2.3-83. I'm going to do next. I'm going to leave all this at default. I'm going to say import. Look at this. The import field because okay, if I did not pass with the specification, I'm going to say retry. Now I clicked on retry and it's telling me invalid target disk adapter type PVSCSI. So there's something we are going to do in order to be able to bypass this. So I'll just click OK. The FTD is still installing. So I'm going to go back to my folder. Now there's something we are going to do. I'm going to open up this MF. Let me edit with Notepad. Okay, not this. Okay, fine. This is the checksum. I got it wrong. So it's supposed to be this OVF. The OVF app itself. I'm going to edit with Notepad. Now there's something I'm going to look for. I'll look for this line. So I want to change this virtual SCSI. I'm going to change it to this, to LSI logic. So let me just use my control find to look for it. Control F, I'm finding virtual SCSI. So let me find next. So I think this is it. We compare what I have here. Okay, this line. Okay, this is it. So I'm just going to change it. I'll replace it with this. Okay, Ctrl V. So I've done the replacement. So I'm just going to save it. And now let me run it again. Can see shard digest of our Cisco FMC VMware OVF does not match manifest because of the changes I made. So the hashing has changed. So the checksum, let me show us that. So now the checksum has changed from what we have initially. So I'm going to run another checksum. going to run another checksum on this .ovf. So what I'll do, okay, let me just bring in my hash calculator. Let me go to where I have, okay, I have it here. I have it here. FMC, okay, this is it. So let me calculate another hash for this. And before then, let me look, okay, it's SHA-1. What we have is SHA-1. So I'm okay, SHA-1, I have it checked already. So I'll just do calculate. So I'm going to copy the SHA-1 key. So I'll go back to my notepad. So I'm going to edit this because this is what we made a change on the .ovf. So I'm going to put the new SHA there. And I'm going to close it. I'll say yes. I'm going to save it. So now that I've saved it, let me close this. Let me run it again. Now we should be able to install our FMC. I'm going to name it FMC 6.2.3- or iPhone 83. Next, I'm going to skip this. I'll just import. Hooray! So our FMC is now being imported into VMware to our VMWorkstation. And mind you, our vFTD is still installing. So once the OVF is imported into VMWorkstation and the installation is on, you just most of the rest of the process is just automatic. So it doesn't need your it doesn't need you to do anything. It doesn't need you to do anything actually until you finish installing. So the FMC, I'll say no, I don't need that. So the FMC 6.2.3. So now FMC has started loading, and this vFTD is still installing. It usually takes a while before it finishes installation. So FMC has also started the installation process. So what I'll do is I'm just going to pause this video while the installation process is done with, and I'll resume the video so that we can do the initial configuration and integration. So now our FTD is ready. The FMC still installing. So let me log into the FTD. The default login is admin, and the default password is admin123, capital A. Capital A, D, small m, small I, small n, 123, admin123. Okay, so it's going to prompt me to accept the EULA end user license agreement. I'll just press enter on my space bar. So you are expected to read through the end user license agreement. So, and if you are okay with the agreement, you type yes and you press enter. It asks you to enter a new password. I'm going to give it a new password. So that's it. Do you want to configure IPv4? Yes. Do you want to configure IPv6? No. Configure IPv4 via DHCP or manual. I want it to be manual. That's the default. I'll just press enter. The IP address will be 192.168.153.119. The subnet mask is /24, so I'll leave it at the default. The gateway is going to be 192.168.153.3. That's going to be default gateway for the management. The fully qualified host name for this system, I'll just use FTD. Enter a comma separated list of DNS servers. My DNS server should be 192.168.153.94, and I'm also going to use 8.8.8.8. Should be okay. Search domains, that will be techwise.local. But if you don't have that information, you may just put none. You may enter none. So if your network information has changed, you need to reconnect. So let it finish the bootstrapping process. So let me go back to vFMC. The vFMC is still installing. So let's wait for the management settings to be installed. Okay, manage the device locally. I'm going to say no, because we are going to be managing this device with FMC, with Cisco FMC, so I'll say no. If you want to manage locally, that means you want to use Firepower Device Manager. I'm not going to be using that. So in case you want to see how Firepower Device Manager, how it looks like, how it works, you can just say yes. So once you say yes, after the installation, you can connect to the FTD management IP address from your browser, and it brings up the FDM, Firepower Device Manager. But for the sake of this tutorial, we are going to be making use of Firepower Management Center. And again, to always get your cursor out of the VM workstation environment, you just use Control Alt. So once you do that, you can have control of your mouse again. So let's take a look at the FMC. The FMC is still installing. Okay. Now configure firewall mode, routed, transparent. We are sticking with routed, and that's the default, so we leave it at routed. Enter. So now it's configuring the firewall mode. So it's going to make the FTD to be in routed mode. Okay, now that's finished the bootstrapping process. So what I'm just going to do is to configure the device manager. The management center, Firepower Management Center FMC. Because by the time our FMC is done, we are going to integrate the FTD to the FMC. So because the FMC is going to be used to manage the FTD. So the FTD is a sensor device which needs to be added to the FMC so that we can push policy configurations to the FTD via the FMC. So I will say configure add the configure manager. You can use the question mark. Okay, fine. But it's configure manager add, and I'm going to put the manager IP address. I'm going to give vFMC 192.168.117. Okay, and the registration key now, let me use question mark. So what we need to enter now is the registration key. Is that same registration key that we're going to use to register the FTD on FMC. So I'll just use 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I press enter. I'll press Ctrl on my keyboard. I want to see the status of the FMC. Still installing. Okay, now manager successfully configured. Please make note of registration key as this will be required while adding device to FMC. So we've configured our manager on the FTD. So let me say show, let me type show managers. So you can see the host, that's the IP address. So the manager should be .117. Registration key, that's it there. Now it has been encrypted. Registration is pending. So registration is still pending. That means it has not been integrated to the manager yet. So that's that. So we have to wait till the manager is done. And again, there are some, for example, show network. I want to confirm the IP address I have here on my FTD. It's supposed to be .119. So you can see the host name, domain, DNS servers, management ports, gateway, and you can see all that. Also, you can see the IPv4 section. This is the IP address of the FTD, the subnet mask, the broadcast. This is the gateway up here, management ports. This is the ports through which the FMC communicates with the FTD. So the communication is on port 8305. So don't forget, and you can make changes to all these also through the FTD CLI here. You can change your IP address, peradventure maybe you make mistake. Let's look at something. Can say configure. I'll use my question mark. So if you want to configure network, if you want to configure firewall, yeah, that's the firewall mode. You want to change the mode maybe to transparent or back to routed. And if you want to configure your network, your IP address, you can see configure network IPv4. That means you want to change the management IP address and management interface, management ports, static routes. That's the default gateway. You can do all that here. So, but we don't have anything to do here again on the FTD CLI. So we just need to wait for the FMC to be done. Once the FMC is done, so we integrate the FTD to FMC, and then we can now talk about policy configuration. So I'm going to pause this video and we'll continue once the FMC is done. As we can see, the FMC installation is still ongoing. So we have to wait a while. Okay, viewers, the FMC is now ready. So I'm just going to log in. Same default password without FTD. Login is admin, password admin123, and the A is in caps. Don't forget that. So now I'm going to type in sudo configure network. So the command we actually needed is that of configure network so that we can configure the IP address details, but we need to type in sudo so that we can have root privilege. So I'll do enter my password, admin123, and don't forget the A is in caps. Do you wish to configure IPv4? Yes. Management IP address, that will be 192.168.153.117. Management net mask, that's /24. Gateway 192.168.153.3. That'll be my management gateway. Are these settings correct? Yes. Do you wish to configure IPv6? No, not at this time. So updated network configuration. Now the network configuration has been updated. Please go to https://192.168.153.117 to finish installation. So now we go to our browser. I'll do https 192.168. Okay. The 153.117. Whoa, what's happening? Okay, I think I know what's happening. I haven't set my VMnet. The subnet 192.168.153.0, it's in VMnet 8. If you check it from here, okay, I'm going to show us. So I'll set this. The first adapter is the management adapter. So I'll set it on VMnet 8. Okay, so the FTD VMnet has been changed to VMnet 8. I will see change that of FMC, but let me show you something here. And one note of warning from my own observation, it's always better to change for FTD. If you're installing it on VMware, it's always better to change the VMnet while it's shut down. It's faster. While if it's up and you are changing the VMnet, that's just my own experience. It used to take a long time. So VMnet 8, that's what we're using. You can see this is the subnet address 192.168.153.0. So I'll go ahead and change that of FMC also. I'll change it custom VMnet 8. That's cool. The FMC is always fast, either it's up and running or not. Changing the VMnet doesn't give you any delay. So let me try and ping 192.168.153.117. That's the FMC. I can reach it. And my FTD is .119. So that's fine. So let me go back to the browser. Oh, that's my antivirus. It's giving me certificate warning. Okay, so advanced, add a exception, confirm security exception. It's just a certificate thing, but my system doesn't trust that certificate. So admin the password, login, update. Okay, so if you are logging into the FMC for the first time, it's going to be showing you this to ask you to change the password. So you change it from the default of admin123 to whatever you want it to be. The IP address, you can also change it here if you want. The host name, I'll just make it FMC. The domain, techwise.local, primary DNS, 53.94, and secondary. Okay, I can also add. So here, NTP, use this NTP server. But for an enterprise, you always have your own internal NTP server. So I want to do it manually. In a production environment, the FMC, the FTD must be synced to an NTP server. Europe and London, I'm going to save. Although most of these settings, you can configure them later. It's not compulsory that it has to be now. Like for the rest of the settings, I'm going to leave them as they are. I will accept the end user license agreement once more, and I'll click on apply. So that's it. So it's going to save. We have to wait for it to finish saving these settings. But one thing is, it also used to take a while, but you have to wait for it. Now, here we are. Now, what we need to do, we can click here to register a device, but we're not going to do that now. Come to System, Licenses, Smart Licenses. I want to activate my FMC for evaluation. Evaluation mode, yes. So I now have 90 days evaluation period. So now let's integrate the FTD, our FTD to the FMC. Come to devices, device management, add device. The host is 192.168.153.119. The display name is to be FTD1. Registration key as it was configured on the FTD 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Group none, leave that. ACP, let me name it ACP, that's access control policy. Select this policy, non-block all traffic. I'm going to save. So it needs an access control policy that will be attached to the FTD while adding it. So you can always configure the ACP later, add your access control rules, whatever I want to do with it. Malware, threat, URL filtering, and I'm going to click on register. So once there is communication between the FMC and FTD, that is the FMC can use the FTD on the appropriate communication port. So there shouldn't be issue with the integration. So it's adding device. Error. What error is this? Okay. Oh, and it's telling me registration. Wow, that's a glitch, I guess. There's no error actually. So that's a software glitch. It actually added the FTD, but it pops up error. I don't know why. Like I said, that's just a software glitch. So you can see FTD1 discovery from the device in progress. And you can see here the FTD.119. Let me click this screen icon here. Okay, task. Yeah, so you can show us the task. You can see task install snot rule. Communication with FTD1 has been established. Discovery in progress. FTD1 discovery from the device in progress. So device registration. So you can see apply initial health policy. So it's applying health policy to the FTD. As we can see, FTD, you can see the icon here is green, so everything is okay. That's applied the initial policy, pre-deploy global configuration, generation, start snapshots. So everything is fine from the look of things. So we've been able to set up our virtual FMC, virtual FTD, and we've been able to integrate FTD to FMC. So now, once that have been done, we've licensed our FMC, do evaluation license. We've integrated FTD to it. So now we can start configuring policies on our FMC while we push it to the FTD for implementation. So that brings us to the end of this video. Thank you for watching.